Hey guys, Eric here, and for those that might not know, there's actually a little bit of soldering that goes into every beard box that we do. So I've got something new that I want to unbox and review. Anything that I can do to make that soldering a little bit easier is a plus sign in my book. So I picked up something and I'm going to just do a little unboxing and review, and we're going to actually test it and see if it makes the soldering job for the beard boxes any easier. Should be fun, so let's see how it goes. All right, so to give you guys a rundown, this is the solder station that I normally use back here, and it's been working okay. However, there are just some things about that soldering iron that aren't the best. So sometimes I actually use this, which is just a really cheap soldering iron that I've had for years. And this is typically what I use, and it's a little bit sad, but you know, it gets the job done, and it has for years. But anything that I can make that job easier is a positive in my book. So this is what I got. This is the Fanttik. If you are familiar with my videos, some of my other videos on my other channel, you might know that I am a Fanttik fan. And this is the Next T1 Max, which this is like a portable wireless cordless soldering iron. So we're gonna open this up and check it out and see if it's any good. So this is what we got here. Here's the user manual. That's kind of what it looks like, and it looks like it has a hand-free kind of soldering station thing, which I was really interested in. We got a few boxes, so let's open up the first one. This looks like the soldering iron itself. An awesome size, and it looks like it's got variable temperatures over here, which is awesome. Power button, and this is a nice little grip here. Very soft, nice rubbery grip. So that's really good. Oh, it looks like it comes with a solder sucker, if that's what that image is, which is good. I mean, solder suckers, they don't work the best, but you know, something is better than nothing. This one's nice. Got a nice rubber tip there. Metal, which is cool. Ooh, this one might work. This is very strong. Nice, I like that. Definitely gonna try that out. We got the stand, or maybe the top part of the stand, so let's open that up. And oh, of course, with Fanttik you always get a carry bag with all their stuff, which is really nice. I like that. Let's see what we got in here, starting with this. This looks like extra sponges and whatnot, which is great. Oh yeah, a few different sponges, a whole bunch of them. Very nice. Clean the tip of your soldering iron there. Ooh, some more accessories. Looks like we got some more rubber tips for the solder sucker, which is awesome that they actually provide those. Quite a few of them, which is great in case those get damaged or messed up. There's a whole bunch. We got some nice tweezers. They are of the non-curved tip, which can be very helpful. Oh, these are nice. Yeah, I like those. This is the arm of the base, I believe. Definitely looks good. We got this. This is the charging cable, I'm sure. USB-C, I would assume, although I didn't look. And yeah, USB-A to USB-C, charging cable, good enough. Now, I am a relatively skilled solder person, but you know, not the best in the world. Is there anything else in this box? No, nothing else. All right, this is the base itself. Let's open that up. Here's sounds. Oh, okay. So this is where the sponge goes, in this portion here, just like that. And it looks like the base just attached. Tips are inside. Oh, there's extra tips. Well, let's look at those. Press. Check that out. Oh, different solder tips. Oh, that is awesome. I didn't even know it came with those, but that's what was making that sound, and that is really cool. Very cool. And I think the arm just attaches here by magnets. Maybe. Yep, just like that. Very, very cool. Okay, let's see what it looks like all set up. This is what it looks like all set up, which is really, really nice. The base attaches with magnets, but also rotates around depending on where you want it. And you can turn it around, and then you can use it as a handheld soldering iron, of course. I'm going to show you guys some of the soldering I have to do for the beard box, and we're going to test out this soldering iron. So this is one of the LED RGB light strips that we use for the solder, or for the beard box. It's very short because we don't need much length at all. However, the controller wire is actually really, really long, which is convenient if you're using this for a different application, but for our application, it's way too long. We would have to coil this entire thing up inside of the beard box if we kept it this way, and it would just look bad, and it would just be unwieldy and not great. So what I do with every single beard box is I shorten this quite a bit to about there and there. And the easiest way to do that is to actually cut the wires, desolder them from the controller inside here, and then restrip and resolder them to the board much shorter. That is the easiest way I have found to do it. It generally works out pretty good, and it looks really good when it's complete. So that's what we're actually going to do right now, and we're going to test this new soldering iron and make sure that it works for my application. So without further ado, let's get started, and I'll show you guys how that works. So typically the first part I have to do, this is held on by some clips, so I have to pry this open, which can be a little bit annoying, but not too bad. Well, let's take off this wire tie first. There we go. And then the controller comes off, and you can see the little clips there. It's not held on by any glue or anything like that, just the clips, which is awesome because it makes this job really easy. So we save those over there, and then we look at the actual controller board, and the power side obviously has just 2 connectors here, which we have to desolder, and then the RGB side has 4. And these 2 we just have to desolder. So that's where the new soldering iron comes in. So let's take a look. What's the best way to do this? Probably like that. So this is supposed to heat up very quickly. So let's test that. Let's power it on. I assume I'll get a light. Oh, ooh, and it has lighting on the tip as well. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Oh my gosh, it's already smoking. All right, so it's green already here, which I assume means it's already ready, which was extremely fast. Okay, so let's test this out. Now, I have the hands-free base, so I should be able to just put this here. Easy, 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 easy. Come on. I got one wire disconnected. There we go. Both wires disconnected, and that wasn't too bad at all. All right, now the other side. That was very hot still. The other side, let's disconnect these wires. 1, 2, there we go. All right, so now we have our controller board all disconnected, and I need to clean up these solder connections here. 2 pads, 3 pads, 4 pads. So we may need to add a little bit of solder, but it's not too bad over there. Now we'll do the other side. This one I think I'm gonna clean up. Let's take it out of its stand for this particular portion, and we'll do it this way. And using the solder sucker to clean it up. And we got that one. Heat this one up, and we got that one. All right, so now basically what I'm gonna do is I'll add some solder to both these pads, and we will reconnect this, but much shorter. So I'm gonna cut it down probably just to about there, and then we will do that. All right, so that's it. I've cut it down. Now I gotta strip some wires back. I'll turn the soldering iron off in the meantime so it doesn't die on me. I don't know how much of a charge it has out of the box. All right, so the first thing we do is we remove the outside. Then I've got my red and blacks right there. And then I can take my little wire strippers here. And I can actually grab both of these at the same time and strip them just like that. And then I just twist them so they don't fray on me. There we go. And then this side is ready to be done. So we are gonna add some solder to the pads here. And so I'll power on this new soldering iron and we'll let that heat up. And it can work right here actually on the little base. Now I need some flux. Just a tiny bit of flux. Just helps the solder flow. Take the soldering iron out. And I will just get a little bit of solder on the tip here. And then we'll just touch it to the pad to just add a little bit of solder. And same thing here. And we'll just add to this other pad. There we go. All good. And I already done so many of these, so black is ground. And basically all we're gonna do is we're just gonna touch black here. Well, we'll melt the solder first and then we will touch black here. This actually might be better done with tweezers, but that's okay. All right, so we already have black attached. Now we're just going to attach red. Be very careful not to burn myself. Okay, red is attached, but it could be attached better. So we'll add a little bit more flux and a tiny bit more solder. And I will have to tin this tip a little bit. That's fine. All right, that's good enough. Now we have the power adapter or the power side attached back to the controller board. And this is the other side, which I actually have to cut down very, very short as well. So we will probably cut it down to about there. All right, so we cut that length off. We can save that for later in case we need it. And I will just cut the outside here. Our 4 wires, which I kind of want to keep together just like that, because then I can grab all 4 with my wire strippers here. All 4 at the same time, just like that. And then we can twist them all together. So this is just get the shells ready for the beard boxes, which I actually love doing. I love working on small electronics like this, as long as they're not too small. All right, now we can begin the soldering process on the other side of the board. The LED strip, LED strip is easier to do over here. And we go red, green, white, black. That's the order, the top-down order that we go on this side. So we will start with red. And I think I have enough solder there. So power on and heat up our soldering iron. And attempt to do this while also staying in camera view, hopefully. The soldering iron heats up very, very quickly. So that is amazing. Let's test the hands-free function of this. Maybe that will go easier. Oh, flux. Let's get some flux first. And we have some solder on the pad already, so we should be able to just touch it. Just like that. Oops. Guess it would help. And we're going to add a little bit more flux and a little bit more solder, just because there's not enough. So we'll add some solder to our iron, not much, just a little bit. And we'll just touch it, just like that. There we go. So we got red, green, white, black. Now we can put it all back together. Let's turn off our soldering iron here. And let's actually test out our LED strip to make sure that everything is set properly. I'm pretty confident that it is connected well. I can tug gently on both ends and it doesn't come out. So I will put the controller piece back on and put the bottom piece on, snap it all together, make sure all the buttons are good. All right, let's plug it in, and I have a much shorter thing here, and we'll make sure it works. So I have this, we'll plug it in, and the way we know this works is it's white right now. We have to make sure that it cycles through all the colors. Green, blue, yellow, blue, purple, blue, red. There we go. Okay, there. And it's working. You can test the music mode. Music reactive. Yep. And we're all good. Okay guys, that was the Fanttik Next T1 Max portable soldering iron, actually in use and in practice. I got to get some used to using it. It's drastically different than my previous soldering irons. That being said, it's awesome, and I love the fact that it's cordless and portable. The battery just right out of the box seemed to last long enough for the job I was doing, and long enough for any small electronic job. As long as you turn it off when you're not actually using it, it heats up in about 4 or 5 seconds. So it really doesn't harm you to actually turn it off when you're not using it, and then turning it back on when you need it. I actually love this thing. I'm gonna use it on every beard box that we get going forward, and hopefully that will just make things a little bit easier. So thank you for joining me for this one. This video was not sponsored or anything. I bought this myself. I'll put a link to in the description below where you can purchase it from Amazon. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that one, and I'll see you on the next one.